Can you hear me or see me? Is everybody here?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, great. Okay. Good evening, everybody. President, fellow Toastmasters, how are we doing today? I am your Toastmasters of today, and I would like all of us, oh, Rock is coming in. I would like all of us to give ourselves a big clap for being here at our 34th meeting. Give yourself a big clap. Yeah. Now for a moment, everyone, I would like you to take a deep breath and put your hands together in prayers. Whatever you do, here or here for me, and think of a moment in your life that you faced challenges or some hardship. Then at that point of time in your life, did you remember? You really pray in silence and you go deep down to your heart and believe in the hope that everything will be okay. Everybody, were you there at one time in your life? Can you please respond to me? Chat, right in the chat. Did you feel it? Everyone, did you go through that? Well, I went through that when I was taken sick 5 years ago. And I believe in hope. That, you have it, is the power of hope. I would like to share with you a quote from Abraham Lincoln. And he says, the power of hope upon human existence and happiness is wonderful. The power of hope upon human existence and happiness is wonderful. And when you get over that, when you get over the challenges or the hardship or chaotic part of your life, you feel relief. What is this power of hope? Hope is that strong, firm belief that everything in your life will be okay. Everything will be all right after all the hardship. It is from your heart. It is not the brain. It is a winner's attitude that says, how can I do to help myself? In opposite of the victim's psychology that says that, who's going to help me? In this time of COVID, in this time of pandemic, we all believe in the power of hope. What did we do? What did you do? What did everybody in the world do? Everybody believe in the power of hope. We believe that this is going to end. We're not going to be home stuck in our room, in our house for the rest of our life. It is going to end maybe at the end of the year or in 2 years. It will no more be a pandemic. Pandemic is going to be a pandemic real soon. And I believe in that. Let's all of us pray that this is going to end real soon. Believe in the power of hope. And with that, welcome to our meeting. And I would like to introduce the role player for today. We have with us, not our grammarian. Okay, let's start with our Toastmaster, topic master. Rock is here. Yeah, we have Rock in the house. Rock is our table topic masters today. And then we have our general evaluator, Teresa. Okay, who will be the art counter today? Samish, you're taking the art counter? All right, and we have the grammarian Anvita H. Could you share with us the word of the day, please? Anvita?
Yeah, thank you, Sabaria. Today's word of the day is opposite, which means apt or appropriate. Synonyms of this word are relevant and pertinent. Antonym is inappropriate. This word was derived from two Latin words, ad and ponere, in the late 16th century. An example of usage could be, today's theme is opposite to the current pandemic situation. Please use the word of the day. I'll put it in the chat too. Back to the TM Modi.
Thank you very much, Grammarian. Yes, today's theme is opposite of the world today, the pandemic. Right, let's move on to our first part of the meeting, which will be prepared speech. And to do that, can we all put our hands together for the evaluator of the speech, Kashul Gupta, to share with us the purpose of the project for Rosie. Kashul, all yours.
Madam Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters, the purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different types of negotiation and the strategies that can be used when negotiating. The purpose of the speech is for the member to share some aspect of a past or future negotiation in her life. Madam
Thank
Toastmaster.
you, Kashul, Mr. Evaluator. I would like, before I call upon the speaker, I would like to share with you the time for Rosie's speech, which is 5 to 7 minutes, okay? And do we have our timer? Did I introduce the Madam Timer? Kathy, how can I not introduce you? Okay, thank you, Kathy. Now the timer, it will be 5 minutes. The green light will be shown. Or Kathy, what will you do? Oh, she will use the handphone and it's 5. It will show 5 minutes. Then at the 6 minute, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna wave a bit, or she's still going to show the timer screen? And at 7 minutes, what are you gonna do? Still, she's gonna show that at 7:30 seconds. She's gonna go like move a bit the phone. Okay, right. With that, can we all put our hands together for Speaker Rosie, or lovingly known as Rosie, Rosiana, all yours, with the title. What's the title again? Follow the flow. All yours, Rosie.
Thank you, Toastmasters Sabaria. I can do it. What? Why? I have no confidence. Distinguished Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. You have guests? Never mind. When I was a banker, going to training was like honeymooning, staying in a hotel, eat, shopping, sightseeing, and enjoying the local food. After I became an internal trainer, life became more meaningful. And I especially love the traveling, flying and driving, highway alone, singing in the car. The singing will get louder if I got good ratings. That time I was earning from 2 sources of income. My job as a normal, boring commercial banker and as a trainer. As I love the training and I don't like the boring desk job, I resigned. Of course, after I did due diligence. Not a waste after all working in a bank. So I incorporated a company. My company is a training provider. The reason I incorporated this company, because I love going to trainings. I love to absorb the knowledge and learn from it. I thought instead of giving training, I would just sit back and relax. But I also know that sitting down and relax is not good for me. So I went to a lot of programs and I have a lot of time. So I read a lot of books, going to a lot of programs, critical thinking, design thinking, business model view, cross-selling, and so on. You name it. COVID hit, business got affected. But I was okay. I didn't eat that much. And I'm not into like branded items, not like my husband. And I didn't have major debt to pay other than my phone bills and insurances. But I have 3 insurances. Don't tell my husband. Meanwhile, I'm enjoying my Toastmasters. Initially, I joined to network and also to sharpen my own delivery. You know, a good leader will do it first before asking other people to do it. The opportunity not. A trainer is urgently required to teach some 30 bankers. In credit, my line, 24 years in credit, business financing. Being a training provider, I started sourcing what you seek is also seeking you. I always believe this. It becoming true and truer. So I reach out to a solid banker. Bingo! The subject to teach coincide with her PhD subject. Wow! So I started to engage her, connecting. The only problem is that she's not a Toastmaster. So why did I say that? What's that got to do with anything? She's not familiar with teaching online. She lost confidence. At the last minute, I had to step in. I can't do it. I have no confidence, she said. The client then relayed my experience and my credential being a qualified trainer and a banker in that subject too. The only difference is that she's got the PhD, but she's got no confidence. But I got the confidence. So I follow the flow. That appeals to me, so I say yes. So instead of being a training provider, I'll be the trainer. Since this was the last minute, they didn't give me the letter of offer until after the end of whole session. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, fellow Toastmasters, there are 4 types of negotiation styles: competitive, accommodating, compromising, and collaborative. If I use competitive style of negotiation, what would happen? Possibly, for example, I would take similar to the live training, and that would fail because definitely I wouldn't get the job. Albert Einstein said in a quote, assumptions are made and most assumptions are wrong. If I am using a style of compromising and accommodating, you would say that it's not ideal style as it seems as a lose-lose. But I think when both parties have limited knowledge, follow the flow would give a win-win situation. My client got me and I got the job. So follow the flow of all the negotiation styles. Collaborative would be the best. However, it is time consuming and both parties have to have complete information. In my case, when we are still new, a lack of information, accommodative and compromising would be the best solution for the time being. Both win-win. Follow the flow. When both of us have more information, we may implement the collaborative style of negotiation where we will both win-win. In fact, follow the flow, I would do it for free for the sake of experience. With the real money, better. Since COVID, I have not been doing live trainings. Clients are skeptical at first to indulge in online trainings. But I kept coming to Toastmasters. I learned a lot since then. Fun activities, games, sharing ideas. Since then, with knowledge, I don't assume anymore. I'm capable. I wouldn't be able to do it without Toastmasters. As for my PhD friend, I asked her to join Toastmasters. It's up to her. Thank you, Toastmasters. Back to you.
Great, Rosie. Thank you. Well, I follow your flow, Rosie, because it's just opposite from banking line to the training line. That's what I did when I gave up banking. I went to training of fitness instructors and wellness instructor. Yeah, we must follow the flow. Now from the flow, let us reconnect. But before reconnect to our second speaker, we will introduce or welcome our evaluator, Dr. Satya Raya.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, good day to you. The speaker is attempting speech from the pathway, visionary communication, level 4, speech 1, speech titled Reconnect. The purpose of the project for the member is to practice the skills needed to effectively communicate change to a group or an organization. And the purpose of his speech today is to practice speaking about change. All the best to the speaker. Over to TM1.
Thank you, Mr. Evaluator, Dr. Satya. With that, can we open our hands together for our second speaker, Ditab Ahmad Shikri, all yours, with his title, Reconnect.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Before we start my timing, can I please get screen sharing option? Still can't access screen sharing. Or perhaps make me a co-host so I can have the screen
Amisha,
yeah,
it's okay, dear.
yeah. Let me try it now. Yes, that's perfect. So let me just open my presentation using the fancy option with Zoom to be part of the presentation. You'll see it right now. Okay, fellow Toastmasters, thank you very much for attending this fine afternoon. And we are gathered today to talk about reconnecting. And this proposal came to my mind as an attempt to mobilize change in the lives of many Toastmasters and people around the globe. Before I take you to the actual proposal for change, let me ask you a question. Why reconnect? Because this word means we have to go back to something that we have been missing for the past year and a half, to reconnect with our own selves, with our social circles, with our family and friends, all of which have been affected by a global pandemic and extraordinary circumstances for the past 18 months. It really goes without saying that each and every one of us has his own story in these exceptional times. And if you want to sum up all of our stories, stories of bravery, sacrifice, human courage, then we can see it all summed up in this photo. Never have we ever come across such a global pandemic that kept us away from each other to the level that we missed the power of connection. And my proposal for all of you is to find out a way for us to reconnect with each other. Last week, the CEO of Toastmasters International shared these two staggering charts in his CEO report in the International Convention. These two bar charts gives you an idea of how much our Toastmaster clubs were affected by the lack of connection during the pandemic. The two staggering numbers here are the drop in number of total memberships and payments of total memberships. You can see clearly around 17 to 18% drop in active memberships of clubs all around the globe. Many of these reasons are well known to people. People have lost their livelihoods, their sustenance, their daily lives, their habits. So it's normal for us to step back on some of the less important stuff and focus on the more important stuff. However, 18 months after that, we are thinking of hope. We are looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. And my small piece of contribution is through a program that I'm proposing to embrace this change and reconnect with some sort of normalcy in our lives. This proposal is connecting three different elements together. In the best-selling book by Malcolm Gladwell, The Tipping Point, he classifies mobility in people into three different levels. there are the connectors, there are the mavens, and the salespeople. We in Toastmasters are very good in connecting mavens, and mavens are all of those experts around the world who contemplate and reflect each in his or her own field of expertise. So we need to connect all of these mavens and tap into their expertise to help us reconnect with some sort of normalcy after the pandemic. So the proposal is creating a joint expert panel that will address specific areas of impact in COVID-19. This panel of discussion or experts will include public health experts, economic and job market experts, a human relation type of experts and practitioners, educational and child development experts, something in IT or network or connection to address the challenges and the opportunities created by this global pandemic. And last but not least, a coach, a life coach that can talk on mental toughness and our own personal development journey. We will have two options in communicating this panel discussion. We can have a general presentation followed by an actual Q&A panel in which we include all of our 6 experts and we ask them about their opinion and their expertise in each specific area. Or we can do a seminar format, a back-to-back presentation type of format in which every expert shares a 10 to 15 minutes presentation on how to learn the most important lessons in that exact field. Now, these are the suggested professions of our experts. It could be within Toastmasters or within outside Toastmasters. We have a lot of reach to experts even outside our Toastmasters fields. We just reach out to them and bring them to our club or to any other program similar to Toastmasters and get them engaged in this conversation. The benefit for all the attendees can be increased membership if this was a Toastmasters meeting, increased knowledge of how to get back to some sort of normalcy, and most important, seek inspiration. We have been battered by this unusual circumstances, and any ray of hope will really help us bounce back and become stronger as people and as society. Remember, there's a word of caution here. We don't want to imitate. We don't want to be the next flavor of the month. We want to innovate. So the way we approach this change is to include and become inclusive for all walks of life and understand and put ourselves in their shoe and practice the utmost level of empathy and sympathy with their condition and their human circumstances. My closing remark, if this club or any other club want to adapt this proposal for change, is a lesson taken from the great Muhammad Ali. You do not lose when you get knocked down, and all of us, for sure, we have been knocked down by this pandemic. But you only lose when you stay down. The moment that we stay down is the moment that we lose this war. If you are now facing a problem, it doesn't matter that you are going to stay down. All of us together will rise and become stronger together. I urge you all to accept this change and embrace it. And I wish you all the best of luck. Back to you, Master of Ceremony.
Great, thank you, Mr. Ahmad Shukri. Yes, I believe in reconnect. I believe that when you were down in 2019, you came out and you fight like Muhammad Ali. Now, in hope to instill or to empower hope in a person, yes, we reconnect, means it is part of love to be in connection with people. But maybe now it's different because we're all now online. So that's another way, the new normal of getting connected with each other. Right, we've come to the second part of our meeting, which will be table topic, the most interesting part. And to do that, we'd like to call upon our table topic master, The Rock. Rock, get rocking. Can't hear you now.
Between 1 and 9.
Okay,
Can you hear me? Able to
good
hear me?
now. Go ahead.
Yes, Rock.
Okay, so tonight I'm going to have you give me a number between 1 and 9, and I'm going to show you a picture, and you're going to tell us what's going on in that picture. Just make something up with it. Do I have any volunteers to start out?
Can I volunteer?
Yeah, who is that?
Anvita here, Rock.
I can't tell who that.
Where did he go?
Did we lose Rock? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
he's back again.
ended up getting my camera turned off here just as somebody was volunteering. So who was it that was volunteering?
Me, Rock, Anvita here.
Vita? Okay, what number you want? What number do you want?
2. 2.
All right.
Okay, this looks like a car wreck. Good day, Toastmasters and your guest. Around 5 years ago, my friends and I were going on a trip to a place called as Goa in India. Goa is a place which is very famous for beaches. So we had dreams of an exotic vacation, sunbathing near the beaches and just enjoying the warmth of the air. But unfortunately, as we were going on the road, there was a huge pothole and our car got stuck in it. And when we tried to get up and push the car, unfortunately, our car turned sideways, similar to the one shown in the pic. We were extremely confused because it was in the middle of the night at 12 o'clock. I can see that it is night in the picture too. So it was exact similar to this incident. And there was a home which looked as if it was haunted, just like we were seeing in the picture too. What a coincidence. I remember the exact incident when I'm seeing this picture. We were extremely scared and confused. The clouds were dark. It looked as if it is about to rain. At that moment, we saw another car coming nearby, and that car stopped a little bit behind us. And very soon they got up. There were 3 people who got down. They were extremely bulky and muscular. They looked as if there were some dacoits or some thieves who were extremely powerful. We just crossed our fingers and hoped that they just passed by. But to our surprise, we saw that they were coming towards us. We got all the more tensed. Then one of my friends suddenly remembered that she had got cricket bat so that we'll be able to play cricket in Goa. And very soon we just opened the back of our car, we took out the bats and we were just getting ready to defend ourselves. When another of my friend remembered that she had a pepper spray in her vanity bag, so she took that too. We were just so convinced that those people were thieves just by looking at their appearances. They still came closer to us and were almost ready with our bats. One of them said, "Hey, is anything wrong? You looked as if you are getting ready to play cricket, though your car is in such a condition." We just didn't react because he sounded a bit friendly. Then another of them asked, "Do you need any help? Looks like your car has overturned due to this pothole. We can help for you." We again didn't tell anything because we thought they were just putting up an act. Those 3 proceeded to ensure that our car remained upright on the road, and one of them even gave a number of the local mechanic and say we can just call that person in case something happens to our car again. Those people were extremely sweet to us. At that point, we realized our mistake. Unnecessarily, we had judged these people as thieves. I remember a quote which I learned in my younger days, that do not judge a book by its cover. That is what we had done. We had judged them to be thieves when in reality they were extremely sweet people. Toastmasters, we judge people in our lives daily. Somebody is dressed shabby, then that must be poor. If somebody doesn't know answer to a question, then he must be dumb. If somebody is in a posh car, then he must be extremely happy. But those are just judgments. We often judge because we do not have capacity, or we do not want to utilize our capacity to think. So please remember, if we judge, we are making a big mistake. Do not ever judge a book by its cover. Back to the TTM.
Okay. Any other volunteers? Teresa, what number you want?
Let's see. I'll take 7.
Number 7, all right.
So just tell a story. Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah, just make something up about it.
Okay. Great. Mr. Table Topics, fellow Toastmasters. What I'm seeing is exactly what I'm thinking about most days. Getting fit and making sure that I'm feeling the best that I can. And this exercise here looks like it's including some yoga and some stretching. And it also looks that it's a co-ed sort of exercise, which is interesting. I love the way they have it in the window. And of course, now that I'm looking at this now, I'm thinking that's probably mannequins that are standing so rigid and believing they can achieve whatever it is they want to do. And so, as I say, every day, I think of myself being as subtle, as supple, and as feeling great as these 2 mannequins are showing me. Mr. Table Topics.
All right, any other volunteers? No other volunteers?
I volunteer. Koshal.
Okay, Koshal, what number you want?
9.
Number 9.
Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. We have experienced a world-changing and life-changing event captured on photo right here. This fellow on the floor has taken a bite of the most delicious mozzarella cheese stick ever made. This cheese stick was so well prepared that in his struggle to get all the cheese and from that bite of the cheese stick, this man had to rise from his chair and walk backward. It was still not enough. He had to get more range. He had to get more stretch, people. So he had to lie down. And as you can see, it is still not enough. There's still more cheese there, people. And you might think, well, lying down in a restaurant is not very apposite to the environment there. You shouldn't do that. But what choice does this man have? He's got to get the cheese out of the cheese stick. He's lying down, it's still not enough. He's got to push himself back. He's probably going to have to go back all the way to the entrance of the restaurant to get all that cheese. This is a historic event, people. I want to go to this place and I want to eat one of those cheese sticks. and take on this cheese challenge. Mr. Topic Master.
Any other volunteers?
Yeah, I can volunteer, Rock.
Yeah, of course. What one you want?
Number 8.
Number 8, all right.
This is amazing, Mr. Table Topics Master. How do you manage to get these kind of pictures? I'm just amazed.
Google.
I couldn't just imagine that someone could actually do this. There are different ways to look at this picture. I will talk about 3 different ways to look at this picture. The first way, a very light-hearted way. Someone trying to skate with 2 plates of food on the skater. Actually, sorry, I have to take back. I just can't look at this in a light-hearted way. It's really, I feel it's pathetic, unfortunately, because there are people across the world who don't have food to eat, even for one time a day. I was trying to look at this from a lighter way, but somehow I'm not able to. I don't think we should be doing this really. Even in a lighter way, and this should not be done. Because we have to consider, even though, we are all fortunate actually, that we are born in a good family, we have a lot of money, we have a lot of resources, but that does not mean that we just waste those resources. We have a great responsibility. When we have resources, we have great responsibility that we use those resources in a way that it should be used. So this is what I take from this picture, that we should never be doing this. Thank you very much, Topics Master.
How are we doing on time? How are we doing on time? Kathy?
Are we doing it me or the Toastmasters?
We finished. Rock,
How are we
done.
doing on time? Are we
No.
still good, or do we need to
No.
wrap it up?
I think we wrap it up. Somebody
wrap
should be
it
the
up?
last
All right.
speaker. Yeah, we
Well, in
just
that
like-
case, I will go ahead and show you the other pictures I've got in here.
You may, yeah, why not? Woo! Rock! Okay.
I'm a little
What's
afraid
that?
of what exactly he's Googling.
Thank you, Rock. Thank you for that. Humorous. Now it's like humorous contest in Malaysia, and these are all humorous. Righty. With that, I would like to come to the third part of our meeting, which will be evaluation. And to do justice, we have Dr. Elizabeth coming in. Hello, Elizabeth. We are now at our evaluation time. So it is General Evaluator, DTM Teresa, all yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, and welcome to everyone here today. It's been a lively group for sure. We've learned a lot, and we're going to move now into our evaluations. So evaluating our first speaker is Kaushal Gupta, and he is evaluating Rosie's speech on Follow the Flow. Please welcome Kaushal.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters. Rosie, I liked how you began your speech with some drama. You really got our attention there with someone saying, I can't do it, I'm not confident. So that got our attention and made us want to know more. You had excellent eye contact throughout your speech. You sounded bold and confident. And I could tell that you were using your hand gestures a lot. The problem is that the camera was really focused on just your above your shoulders. So we could only see your hands when your hands happen to rise above your shoulders. So I would try position the camera a bit lower so we could see your hand gestures better. And maybe instead of having those 4 panels about negotiation along the top, have them along the side so that that would give you more room to move that camera in a way that we could see your hand gestures better. You told a good story about how you started as both a banker and a trainer and then decided to just go into training, and that helped us get into the specific negotiation scenario. Now, something I had some problems with understanding is what the interaction between you and this person who you had sourced to do the training. And then I noticed that you had actually texted the full speech to me after you got it done, which helped me a lot. So I could read the speech and I could see, oh, okay, I see what she meant here. I could see where she was going. So thank you for sending the speech to me, because that did help. I do think that you could have picked a stronger example of negotiation, because perhaps I am misunderstanding the situation, but it seems like you had found somebody with the experience, but not really the confidence to provide the training. And then you decided you would do the training instead of her. And it felt like that was not a very intense negotiation. It was more of you just substituting yourself for somebody else. And I wonder if all those years of banking and training, maybe there were some other examples you could have chosen. And I would say even go beyond the scope of the project and try to come up with an example for each of those 4 types of negotiation that you mentioned. But thank you for giving this speech about negotiation and your experience with it, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive evaluation, Coach. I just like to emphasize the fact that, yeah, this is how I saw you when you were speaking. And so your facial expression was very good, Rosie. And I really liked how you finished up, how you tied up and how you wrapped up your 4 different the 4 different types of negotiation. So thank you very much. Thank you, Kaushal. Thank you, Rosie, for your speech. Our second evaluator this morning, this evening is
Satya.
Okay, and he will be evaluating Ahmed's Why Reconnect. So please welcome Satya.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Congratulations to the speaker. Very well structured and content. The beginning, as the middle, as well as the final ending was very suggestive. Very well. It is the title itself is opposite to what you were trying to convey to the audience here. In fact, when I read the title, I thought what could be it raised my curiosity rather to say what could the person be talking about reconnecting. Then you connected it very well to the pandemic in the first instance, and also you exalted the speech level, the content, especially when you discussed about the Toastmasters. There was some kind of an emotional aspect to all of us when we heard that nearly 17% of members couldn't rejoin or could continue, or the growth of our club has not been so as was expected over a period of time. That was a very well conveyed message to all of us, which at least I didn't know. Other things which I noticed in your speech, very well structured, is the research that you have done. You brought in examples from Malcolm Gladwell about the tipping point, and also Muhammad Ali. Very well made quotes there. Finally, you concluded with a suggestion to all of us. That's where the purpose of your speech I thought is served, where you suggested a change which would improve all of our lives as well as the Toastmasters membership. If I were to suggest one or two kind of improvements in your future speeches, one would be, I found that all your gestures were aligning with the content and it enhanced your speech. But sometimes you used to touch your face or cover to some extent. Typically, experts say when you're speaking, you should not cover your space, you not touch your face rather. That's one thing. Second, I'm not sure about this comment. In fact, recently I heard in the Toastmasters Club, my home club, that you should not thank the listeners today in the members, in the sense that you are doing us a favor by coming and speaking before us. So that was the kind of two kind of things I thought you may need to look at in the future speeches. Barring that, you engaged us fully well with the well-constructed speech, and also the kind, as I said, the beginning, middle, and end was very well. The conclusion was very well made. So we took home a clear message that we need to reconnect with people once this pandemic gets over, or whatever may be the case. With that, I hand back to the general manager. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your evaluation. It was very well constructed as well. And I have to agree. I noticed, though, I find it very difficult, I think, when people are using PowerPoint online, because I'm not looking at the speaker. And you were able to pick up I did pick up some of his gesture of Ahmed's gestures. However, I find, I really focused on the PowerPoint. And so I think we have to really take that into context. If we're doing like a 5 to 7, do we want to focus on the speaker, or do we want to focus on the photos? So thank you again, but I really enjoyed Ahmed's speech as well. It was very opposite for our theme today. Okay, and that brings me, I believe, to my timers report. Kathy?
I apologize in advance because I lost connectivity right before the speech. Timing is everything, right? So Rosie's, I'm sorry, when the table topic started, Rosie's speech was 7 minutes and 11 seconds. Ahmed's speech was 7 minutes and 26 seconds. And Vita, I apologize, I did not get the time on yours because I lost connectivity during that time. Teresa, you were 1 minute and 21 seconds on your table topic. Kashal was 1 minute and 40 seconds, and Samesh was right at like 1:03. Kashal, when you were speaking, my app decided to ask me for feedback right during the middle of your speech, and it wouldn't allow me. So their feedback is that I won't be using that app anymore. So I apologize on that. And then Satya, yours was 3 minutes and 2 seconds. So on to a new app for I'm not really good at using the backgrounds. I don't know how to use those with my Zoom connection. So that's why I use an app, but we will be getting a different app. Thank you. That's our report.
Thank you very much, Kathy. I thought your app was excellent, and I thought, oh, I'm going to find out how to use that. But
you don't ask for feedback during the middle of when you're trying to time somebody. And
yeah, right on.
So we will look for a different app.
Good girl. Good girl. So I won't use it.
No, not that. Yeah, there's got to be a better one.
I believe that Anvita was at least 5 to 7. I mean, it sounded like a whole big story. So I was thinking, wow.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know how much I missed. And it's raining really heavy here. So I wasn't even sure. I was having trouble connecting, even getting into the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
And, so then I lost it right during the middle of the meeting. Fortunately, I was able to get back in, but it was a great story. I'm sorry I missed the first part.
So glad we found you and that you're here today.
Yes, I've been found.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vita and I were just hanging out. But you guys had me laughing so much with the table topics last week.
Thank you. Okay, our counter. Is that Samesh this morning? Yes, please report.
For an advanced club, today was not so good day for us, unfortunately. We had 10 of them, actually, mainly A. There was as well. I don't want to give individual names here, but I can say how many people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people had, one person repeated one few words double, and I think that also happens, and that kind of loses the flow of speech, I think, when we repeat. And personally, I am also, in a way, responsible for that. I do that often as well. So it's something that I need to work on as well. Of course, it has been a great session otherwise, and congratulations to everyone.
Thank you very much, Sumesh. And yes, I have to agree. Probably I was on your list. I was at the top of your list. I know I'm practicing it, so I know that. And our our grammarian for today, please, Anvita.
Thank you, Teresa. First, I'll list out the figures of speech which I found today. There were rhetorical questions used. Who will help me? What will everybody do? What has that got to do? What? Why? And then there was one oxymoron, exertion and happiness. There was one metonymy, put your hands together. Coming to the hyperbole, cleaning is like honeymoon, most delicious cheese stick ever made. This is an historical event. We have been knocked down. And then there was various alliteration, due diligence, win-win, too truer, competitive, collaborative, and so on. And next we have personification, opportunity knocked. Mannequin believed that they can achieve whatever they want. Light-hearted, light at the end of the tunnel, put yourself in others' shoes, and so on. And there was one anaphora, in our home, it was followed by something, and then the next sentence was in our mind, which was followed by something, and there was two epistrophe, because two sentences ending with thinking. One simile, not like my hubby, and another simile, as supple as a mannequin. Now coming to the improvements, it is not pray in silent, it should be pray in silence. Feels relief should be feel relief. From two sources of income can be, I had two sources of income. She lost confidence should be she lost confidence. Letter of offer can be offer letter. Yeah, and the word of the day opposite was used by Sabaria, Kaushal, Teresa, and Satya sir. I might have missed someone. I lost my internet in between. So sorry for that. And also I forgot to mention, there was one antithesis. Assumptions are made, assumptions are wrong. So many good usages today. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you very much for that professional report, Anvita. I think it's been years since I've heard the word hyperbole, so just very, very excellent, keeping us on our toes. And for my evaluation of the meeting, I thought it was an excellent meeting. I love listening to people speaking. We started about 9:02. It would be encouraging if people could try and get online a few minutes earlier. I know we had some connection difficulties today, so it's not always possible. The chatter before the meeting is also very helpful, because we get to check our microphones, or we get to ask for if we need to share the screen. Both speeches, as I've mentioned already, were very well done, and also our evaluations. I thought that the table topics was very imaginative, and I think, Rock, you have a talent for finding photos. I would like to say that it really made us speak out of the box, and I think that's what we need to do for table topics. as I've said, it's been an excellent meeting. My evaluation team was very on target, and I appreciate that. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. That wraps up our meeting for today with the prepared speech, table topic, and also evaluation. Thank you, Teresa. And I would like now to hand over the meeting to none other than our President, DTM Samish Kumar, to wrap up the meeting. Samish.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Sabaria, for running this meeting so professionally, and all the role players and all the speakers. Excellent meeting as usual. The quote, great theme, Sabaria, in terms of the theme of today about hope. And there is one quote that says, hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. There is light despite all of the darkness. And that's what we have been doing during this. It's going to be nearly 2 years now that the whole world is unfortunately in these unprecedented circumstances. And it's great that we are resilient and we are bouncing back. The whole world is bouncing back now. It's fantastic achievement for the whole world in terms of coming out of an unprecedented situation and coming out in such a wonderful way that everything will go back to a great, wonderful world where the connections continue to keep growing. So thank you all so much for a great meeting, and we will continue to meet every week like this. And before I end, I wanted to just remind that our renewals are due by 30th of September. So please do keep an eye on that. And please, like we have 11 people here. So if we can, minimum we need 20 people in order to be a distinguished club. So I don't know, we had 25, but I don't know how many of the 25 are going to renew. So let's keep our focus on becoming a distinguished club. I think that's very important. Thank you so much. And it's a great pleasure to be with you all today. Thank you.
Can we take a pic?